Tired of spending money in Raid or being tempted by all their offers? Well, I'm here to help. What is going on, Raiders? Soda Dragon here, and today's video is a little bit different. Normally I give you guys tips, strategies, and tactics to get through content in this game. But today I am showing you how to not spend money in Raid. I know, very different. But before we get on with that, I need your guys' opinion on a new idea for a shard pull video that I had. You guys know me, you know I like to think outside the box, so I was thinking, is there a kind of shard pull video I can make where you actually rooted against me getting a legendary? That is, you actually cheered when I did not get a legendary. So here was my idea. I thought I would do a shard pull video where if I pulled a legendary, I would tase myself. I'm not talking about special effects. I mean like really tase myself. So I talked to my best friend about it and he is all for it. I think it's because he's a Jackass fan. But I did ask my wife as well, and I was thinking she would say, oh, it's too dangerous, don't do it, it's not worth it. But she thought it was a great idea. In fact, she wants to be in on the video. So as the lesson here, the people closest to me don't care about my well-being. Maybe. So what do you guys think about this idea? I'm not going to do it unless there is overwhelming feedback that this is a good idea, because it's not like every day I go out and shock myself. So really, if you guys want it, yes, this is something I'll consider, but it's got to be overwhelming. I'm not just going to do it for one or two of you. All right, guys, back to our topic at hand, that is how to not spend money on Raid. So firstly, who is this video targeted to? And I think the best way to explain this is to first go over two groups that this video is not targeted to. And those are people that not only don't want to spend money on Raid, but actually don't spend money on Raid. So these are those content, happy-go-lucky, free-to-play players. So there's a second group of people that this video is not really targeted towards as well. And these are people that want to spend money on Raid and do spend money on Raid. Really, if you want to spend money on Raid, you have the money, then by all means, spend your money on Raid. Why? Because we're supporting the developers. Without people out there that is spending money on Raid, we wouldn't have a game. So there is nothing wrong if you want to spend your money, you have it, to spend it on Raid. It's your entertainment, it's your money. So who is this video targeted to then? It is the people that do not want to spend, but maybe have spent and regret it. Or they do not want to spend, but they're tempted to spend. So those are really the people that this video is targeted toward. So today I'm going to give you 4 tips to not spend, or hopefully spend less in Raid. So tip number 1 is fall in love with epics. You do not need to pull any legendaries to complete any of the PvE content in this game. You want to do Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, you can 1-key it without pulling any legendaries. You want to do Doom Tower, you can beat all the bosses without pulling any legendaries. You want to do stage 25 dungeons, you can beat them all without pulling any legendaries. There is no part of this game, as far as the PvE side, that you need to pull a legendary. Epics do the job just fine. In fact, there are a lot of epics out there that are hands down better than any legendaries. So take for example Seer here. A lot of you guys know she is one of the best epics in the game, but really she's one of the best characters in the game, period. So there is no legendary that can do what she does. She is the best wave clearer literally in the whole game. There is no legendary that can do what she does. And that's the thing, once you look at the epics, a lot of them have very unique skill sets, just like Seer here, in which legendaries cannot compare to. Here's another example, my boy Vogoth. Notice I have, 4 6-star level 60s of him. Oh, I like him a lot. Well, what does he bring? Well, what he can do is he can heal everybody on the team for 50% of the damage that is dealt to him. So there's no legendary that can do anything close to this. So there's one epic that can do something similar to this, but not to this degree. So really, Vogoth is another example of a very unique skill set that is not found in any legendary. So some of you guys might be saying, well, you still need to pull shards to get epics. And yes, that is true, but your chances of getting epics, depending on the shard, is so much higher than getting a legendary. And if you play this game for any significant amount of time, you're going to get a good amount of epics. So really, that is where the money is at. Remember, you do not need to pull any legendaries to get through any PvE content in this game at all. They are not required. So one thing I will say is that if you're really interested in the PvP aspect of this game, in particular Platinum Arena, then yes, you may need to pull some legendaries for that. So all the best plat players have a ton of legendaries. It's just the way it is. So if that's really your focus, then yes, you may need to start pulling some legendaries to be competitive. Now, maybe in the old days, people competed in plat, like the really early days of plat, with pure epic teams. But if you look at anybody top plat, it's all gold. Maybe an occasional epic, but it's really all gold. And there's no one recently that I know of, top 10, top 50, top 100, that used an all epic team. So yes, if you're talking about Platinum Arena, you might need to pull some shards. On to tip number 2. It is accept that you are not in control of your roster. So if you're used to old school RPGs like me, then really any playable character in the game will be available to you if you put enough effort and time into the game. But Raid, like other gacha games, is not like this. You could have your heart set on a certain character and play years and even spend tons, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on your account and still never get that character that you wanted. And then your buddy on his first day of playing pulls your favorite character who you've been trying to pull for years. That is the nature of this game. The trap that a lot of people fall into is they think if they spend enough money in this game, they can gain control of their roster. And that is simply not true. Whether or not you spend $0 on this game or tens of thousands, your roster is not under your control. Whose control is it? Lady Luck. So just remember, no matter how much money you throw at this game, it will never change that random RNG element that is at the core of this game. So some of you guys realizing what I'm saying might be thinking, I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable with this. And so my advice to you would be, if you don't like it and you're uncomfortable with it, play another game. Now, I am not saying that in any sarcastic or mean way, but I'm just saying, really, this game is like this. You're not in control of your roster. It is RNG based. And if that is something you're not comfortable with, there are plenty of other games where that is not an issue. So don't play a game in which a core element is something you're uncomfortable with. We should play games, to be happy, to enjoy ourselves, for entertainment, not for stress or anything like that. So if you don't like this, there is nothing wrong with that. Play a different game. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Tip number 3, commit to working with what you got. There are so many different characters in this game. We're talking like 500, 600, and so many different ways to complete content in this game that you can see this game as a sort of test of your ingenuity. If you're committed to progressing in this game, no matter what roster you have, that tells me you're less likely to spend on this game. Why? Because you're not looking for shortcuts. You're in it for the long haul. You're committed to who you have, and if someone happens to come along and improve your roster, great. But if nobody does, then with your ingenuity, you're gonna figure out how to make it work. So what does ingenuity and working with what you got get you at the end of the day? Well, it gets you pride and a sense of accomplishment. So if you guys haven't seen my video on my ludicrous comp for Bommel, basically I decided that I'm gonna do everything that people say don't do. So people, talk about dread bombs being bad. People say don't do turn meter reduction because you get more dread bombs, and avoid those explosions, etc., etc. And I decided, no, I want more explosions. I want more dread bombs, more. And I made it work. So here is an example of ingenuity. Now, I'm not saying this is the best team ever conceived, but I'll tell you what, no one is doing this. No one has ever come up with this. So this is a point of pride for me. This is an accomplishment. Notice I'm not using any OP champs. I have 4 epics and a free login legendary. And I'm doing, this opposite strategy of everybody, and it works. And there is a lot of other things out there for you to discover. And when you do, you're gonna get the same feeling that I do. It's nice. Honestly, it really is. I'm not just going in there with OP champs, just smashing down the boss like crazy. You know what? I actually had to think and experiment. But when it works, it feels good. Because you put in the work. This small little thing, this game that you're playing, when you put in the work and you came up with something new, you're gonna feel good about it. So instead of avoiding hard work and avoiding challenges, embrace them. You can get through it, and when you do, you're gonna feel all the better for it. All right, guys, that is it for today. I hope this video has been helpful in giving you the right mindset to make it easier for you to not spend money in Raid. And do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share so I can get on that test server and come up with better content for you guys faster. I'll see you guys in the next video.